Hey guys, it's Anna, and I want to show you how to solve a system of equations by elimination. So whenever you're trying to solve by elimination, you're trying to make one of the variables, either x or y, go away. So you're looking for some way that you can add and subtract the x terms or the y terms in a way that makes either the x term or the y term completely go away. Now this is an easier example because it's already set up for you. We see that if we add these together, if we add negative 4x plus 4x, we already get 0. So when we go ahead and add these, negative 4 plus 4x is 0. And negative 2y plus 8y is going to give us 6y. And then negative 12 minus 24 is going to give us negative 36. Now we're going to go ahead and get y by itself. So we say what's happening to y right now? It's being multiplied by 6. We're going to do the opposite, divide by 6. So we see that y is going to equal negative 6. Okay, so we got y equals negative 6 now. If we want to find x, how do we find x? We're just going to plug negative 6 in for y and solve. So let's do it. Let's take it in this bottom one here because everything's a little bit more positive. I don't know, it looks a little easier on the bottom to me. So we'll take 4x minus, and then so 8 times negative 6. It's going to give us a negative number. 6 times 8 is 48 and equals negative 24. Let's get x by itself. Right now 48 is being subtracted, so we're going to add 48 over to both sides. We have 4x equals negative 24 plus 48. It's going to give us positive 24 over 4 over 4. And we see that x is going to equal 24 divided by 4 is 6, because 6 times 4 is 24. So there you have it. We have solve for x, solve for y. Watch out for variations like this, especially on the SAT and the ACT, where they'll ask you to like subtract x from y and get the answer from that. Things like that can kind of make it a little bit more complicated, but not really. They just add one extra step. Okay, let's look at another problem. Let's look at this one. Let's look at x minus y equals 11. And 2x plus y equals negative 19. All right, excellent. So let's see what we've got here. Here, is there anything we can add or subtract to make anything cancel? Yeah, there is, right? So we have negative y and y. Again, we don't have to multiply through by anything, because one approach we could take is we could multiply this top term through by 2, and then we could subtract these, because if this was 2x and this was 2x, we could subtract them, make the x's cancel. But because we already have negative y and y, we're just going to go ahead and add them together. So x plus 2x is 3x. Negative y plus y is 0, they cancel. And then 11 plus 19 is going to be, so we go from 19 up to 29 to add 10, and then we go to 1, we get 30, right? So 3x equals 10. All right, we're going to plug back in to solve for y. So we know 10, we'll plug it into this first one, x minus y equals 11. 10 minus y equals 11. Let's go ahead and subtract 10 over negative y equals 11 minus 10 is going to be 1. So we get y is equal to negative 1. Hey guys, a few more systems of equations problems for you. So for this one we have negative 2x minus 9y equals negative 25, negative 4x minus 9y equals negative 23. Again, we're going to try to solve by elimination. We're going to try to solve by making something go to 0. Of course, we'd have the option of multiplying through here by 2 to make this 4x and then subtracting, because negative 4x, oh my god, I had this on. It's pulling it through on my Wi-Fi. It's supposed to be on Do Not Disturb. Alright, I guess I have to go to Do Not Disturb and then lock it. That's amazing. Okay. Now do not disturb. Okay. So 2 more examples of how to solve by elimination. We're trying to make one of these variables go to 0. We could multiply through up here by 2 to change it to negative 4x. We could subtract them. We'd have negative 4x minus a negative, which would be plus a positive 4x, and eliminate these. But these are already both 9y. So obviously we're not going to add them because 9y minus negative 9y plus negative 9y is negative 18y. But if our goal is to get rid of one of them, what we can do is we can go ahead and subtract them. I like to circle the subtraction sign. And then we can just go ahead and subtract. So negative 2x minus negative 4x is plus a positive 4x. So we get 2x down here. Negative 9y minus a negative 9y is plus a positive 9y, right? So these cancel. And we get negative 25 minus a negative 23. So it's plus 23. So it's going to be negative 2. And so we get 2x equals negative 2 divided by 2 divided by 2. X equals negative 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. Now let's run it back through, solve for y, right? So let's do it. So we have, let's use the first one. So negative 2, and then we'll plug in negative 1 minus 9y equals negative 25. Okay, so negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2 minus 9y equals negative 25. Let's subtract over. There's a couple different things we can do. We could add the 9y to both sides to make the 9y positive easily. So over here we would get, let's see if I can write it down here. So we could write 2 equals 9y minus 25. We could add the 25 to both sides. So we would end up with, and I'll write it up a little bit higher, we'd end up with 27 equals 9y. We divide by 9, we get 3 equals y. So we get x equals negative 1 and y equals 3. So these would be our solutions there. Perfect. All right, let's try it out on this one. Negative 6x minus 6y equals 6. Negative 6x minus 3y equals negative 12. Let's go ahead and see what we can do to make these cancel out. We know if we subtract these, it'll be minus a negative, which is plus a positive. So we're going to subtract these. Negative 6 minus negative 6x is 0. Negative 6y minus a negative 3y is the same as negative 6 plus 3y. So negative 3y equals 6 minus a negative 12 is the same as 6 plus 12, so it's going to be 18. Divided by negative 3, divided by negative 3. We're going to get over here, y equals 18 divided by 3 is 6, so negative 6. Run it back through. Negative 6x minus 6 times negative 6. So it's minus 6 times negative 6 equals 6. So it's negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 6 is plus 36 equals 6. So we can subtract 36, subtract 36. Negative 6x equals, it's going to be 6 minus 36. Oh, it's going to be negative 30. And then divided by negative 6, divided by negative 6, we're going to get x equals 30 divided by 6, which is 5. And negative divided by negative equals a positive. Yep. So we get x equals 5. Y equals negative 6. All right, so now we have another awesome set of systems of equations problems. These are ones where we're going to have to multiply through by something. We're going to have to modify them a little bit to make sure something can cancel out. So let's start over with this one. We have 5x plus y equals 9 and 10x minus 7y equals negative 18. So nothing immediately is going to cancel by us just adding or subtracting. We're going to have to multiply through by something. So how can we make the top x term equal to the bottom or vice versa? So So we have a couple options. We could make this positive 7y by multiplying everything through by 7, because then we get positive 7y minus 7y. We could just add them, because the negative's here. Or we could multiply everything through by 2 and get 10x minus x and subtract them, right? So there's two options. So let's try multiplying through by 2. It just seems a little easier. So we're going to do that. So when we do that, we would end up with, and we can just rewrite it down under here. So 5 times 2 is 10x plus 2y equals 18. Because 5 times 2, or 2 times 5x is 10, 2 times y is 2y, and 2 times 9 is 18. So we have this. So we've kind of rewritten this down here, okay? So now, what do we need to do to get one of the variables to cancel out? Now we need to subtract, right? So let's do it. So 10x minus 10x goes to 0. Negative 7y minus 2y is going to be negative 9y. And then negative 18 minus 18 is going to be, so we think, so 30 is going to be negative something. So negative 15 plus negative 15 would be negative 30. We know 18 is 3 more, so it's going to be negative 36. Now we'll divide by negative 9 on both sides. Y equals, so 9 times 4 is 36, so y equals 4. Awesome. Okay, so now we need to plug it back into one of the originals if y is 4. I'm going to plug it back into this original up here, okay? So we're going to have 5x plus 4 in for y equals 9. Okay, so minus 4, 5x equals 9 minus 4 is 5. And then divide by 5, x equals 1, because x equals 5 over 5. So we have y equals 4, x equals 1. Okay, so more systems of equations problems. We have this one, negative 4x plus 9y equals 9. X minus 3y equals negative 6. So what are we going to do to be able to subtract these? Couple options. We can multiply through by 4 and add them, or we can multiply through by 9 and also, by 3 to make this 9y. I figure we may as well just go ahead and multiply through by 4. So let's do it. So we're going to get under here. And it's a little bit trickier because of the way they've written it. So let's go ahead and do it. So 4x minus 4 times 3y is 12y. 4 times 6 is 24, so negative 24. And then let's rewrite the other one underneath. So negative 4x plus 9y equals 9. Okay, so now that the negative's already there in the problem, we're actually going to add them. So 4x minus 4x plus a negative 4x goes to 0. Negative 12y plus 9 is going to be negative 3y. And then negative 24 plus 9. Ooh, so if it was plus 10, it would be 14. But it's actually going to be negative 15 because it's 9. Negative 15. Let's divide by negative 3. Negative 3. Y equals 5. And negative 15 divided by negative 3 is 5. Okay, and then plugging it back in right here. So we have x minus 3 times 5 equals negative 6. So we have x minus 15 equals negative 6 plus 15 plus 15. We're going to get x equals negative 6 plus 15 is going to be positive 9. X equals 9. Awesome. All right, let's do this one over here. We have 7x, negative 2x. There's no way to kind of get to multiply these. We'd have to multiply this by 2 and this by 7, which we could. But we can also just multiply this top one by 3 and get these to cancel. So let's do that. And we can just rewrite it underneath. So 3 times negative 7x is negative 21x. 3 times y is 3y. And 3 times negative 19, so 20 times 3, 20, 40, 60. And then we're going to subtract 3 because it's 19, not 20. So it's going to be 57. And then we're going to go ahead and subtract these two because this is the original and this is the one we multiplied through, right? We're going to subtract them. So we have 2x minus a negative 21x. It's going to be plus a positive. It's going to be negative 2x plus a positive 21x is 19x. 3y minus 3y goes to 0 and equals negative 19 minus 57. So if we do that, we get 76. Negative 76 divided by 19, divided by 19. Let's see what we get when we do 76 divided by 19. It's going to be 4. That comes out all nice. X equals 4. Awesome. Okay, let's plug it back in. Plug it back into our top original if we want. So negative 7 times 4. Negative 7 times 4 is going to be 28, negative 28. Plus y equals negative 19. So plus 28 plus 28, y equals, so negative 19 plus 28. So if we do that, we can use our calculator. We can say it's going to be 9. Y equals 9. All right, so here you have it, some systems of equations problems where you need to multiply through in order to be able to cancel and to solve by elimination.